do when your progress, momentum, and discipline are completely lost. So this happened to me recently when several different unexpected life things occurred at once. And after some initial resistance, I eventually lent in and embraced it, and am now restarting everything from scratch. So today I wanted to share how I'm building a better relationship with productivity as part of this reset. Hello all, it's been a hot minute, but I'm excited to be back after this unplanned break. But whenever you're doing something that lies outside your sphere of capability, like me running this YouTube channel, you need momentum and discipline to sustain making progress, while in tandem also keeping on top of all your other responsibilities. And so this requires some level of productivity to be able to get everything done. And broadly, I split productivity into personal, professional, and practical, where personal is my hobbies, interests, and activities I generally do on my own time. Professional is the role I have in the working world, supporting a team to continue making progress, and practical is the necessities to exist at my healthiest and be energized. And so a few months ago, I was in a position where I'd managed to balance all of these activities and was keeping them all moving forward, or just about. So when several perturbations to this somewhat delicate balance came along all at once, I really struggled to keep everything moving and had to stop some of them altogether. And now I've been able to look back, the way I'd set everything up was applying enormous pressure across all those different areas of my life. And I think that there's three main reasons why I'd got to this point and wasn't finding that fun and enjoyment in anything I was doing anymore. And the first one is productivity creep. My life had become one constant pursuit of productivity. Even in my downtime when I was meant to be relaxing, I was reading books or watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts that would teach me something. And so this need to always be productive and this constant pursuit of doing ever more meant that that downtime where I was meant to be relaxing, resting, and restoring myself never gave me any of those things. And tied into this, I was over-engineering my schedule. Even my free time and fun activities were becoming a rigid part of a schedule. And as I moved on to other activities or tasks that I was doing, which I was supposed to find enjoyable and fun, I never was able to experience those things because I was so het up and anxious, and while I was doing it, I was constantly thinking about when the end time was for me to then move on to that next thing. And then the third thing was all about my perception of myself. And my sense of worth was tied into my ability to perform and deliver output. And I'm not just talking about the professional role, I'm talking about labeling yourself things like a rock climber or a runner or the bin putter outer or the meal maker at home. And giving myself those labels meant that I had to perform in those arenas. So I was only giving myself a pat on the back and a well done if I came through on those different roles. And if I didn't, there'd be a negative feedback loop, kind of berating myself for not having done those things, which was quickly evolving into a bit of a toxic state of existence. And so as part of this reset, I'm gearing up to do all of these things and manage them in a much better and healthier way. So I'm learning how to embrace unproductivity. I've been removing pressures from lots of activities, and particularly that needing everything that I'm consuming to be educational. I've thrown that out the window and I'm now reading a lot of fiction, I'm playing video games, I'm leaving some of my hobby supplies out so that I can just pick them up and dive in as and when I feel like it. And I'm giving myself more room to make things enjoyable, like playing music while I'm doing any of the household chores. When it comes to scheduling, that's a bit of a mixed bag, and changing up that schedule and losing some of the rigidity looks different across each of those different arenas. In the personal and practical areas, I have removed any kind of scheduling of the different tasks that I want to complete, and making a conscious effort to chill out a bit on things that don't really need a deadline, like those household chores. And I spotted that a big source of the stress and negativity that was coming within my professional realm was that as I went through the day, I found that I was quite often deviating from that original plan that I made at the start of the day. And it was that deviation which was causing that stress. So I've been trying out some different methods to try and mitigate some of that stress. And what that looks like is having a few different check-in points across the day for me to think about whether I'm making the progress that I want to, and if I need to adapt and change the plans for the rest of the day. Sounds very commonsensical, but it really wasn't something that I was doing at all. And for the real versus role, I had a chat with some of my close family and friends and came to realize that how they perceive me has nothing to do with my roles at all. How they value me is defined by who I am and the qualities I have as a human being. And this one is a bit of an ongoing one because I'm having to unpick some of the beliefs that are deeply rooted in my brain. I've come across the concept of memories over macros in the fitness industry, and I believe there's probably some kind of productivity equivalent. At the moment, the best I've got is people over productivity. Definitely some work to be done there. But really realizing that what people value about me is not whether I've put the bins out or cooked an entire meal from scratch. Like, where did that belief even come from? That I have value to bring to the table based on just who I am and my personality, and not who I am in any of the different roles I fill, is something I'm thinking about a lot. So right now I'm experimenting with different different techniques and methods to help build a healthier relationship with productivity and goals. And currently that means I'm operating quite unproductively, but I'm really okay with that. And I'm starting to see and work out how I can bring back some of that fun and enjoyment into all of those different roles or activities and tasks that I'm doing. So if that's at all interesting, follow along, and hopefully some of what I'm sharing might be useful for you in your journey. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.